Hello and welcome to this very quick tutorial on making tile sets for your 2D game in Photoshop. In this week's episode we're going to look at how we can use our brushes to create and quickly modify an existing tile. So this is a tile that I created previously. We're going to modify this existing tile to create variations on it that we can use in our game. So the first thing I'm going to do is make a new layer. So I can either click the new layer button down here, or I can go layer, new layer up here. And it's on this new layer that we're going to do all our editing, and I'm going to create different layers for different variations of my tiles. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my pencil tool and I'm going to open up all the different brushes I've got. So at the moment I've just got a simple square brush here, and if I draw on we'll see it's just doing kind of a square effect, but I don't want to do that. I want to go through the brushes and have a look at using some different brushes for different effects. So the first one I'm going to do is I'm going to create a bit of variation of mud using some of kind of the natural kind of spray brushes we've got here. If you haven't got them, click the little arrow at the side of the brush set, and down at the bottom here these are all the different brush sets that we've got. So I'm going to use, let's have a look at special media brush sets, and then it will come up saying do you want to append or click OK to add the brush set. Append will add it onto your existing brushes, whereas OK will replace it. I'm going to append it so we can scroll down to the bottom. And then I'm going to select one of these kind of speckly brushes here, and if you haven't got them, just go in and open them up using dry media or wet media brushes. I'm going to change my colour to kind of a dark brown. I'm going to use this to create mud, and I'm going to set my opacity to about 40% to start with. That looks okay. Makes more of a muddy ground effect. And shrink the size down. And there we go. So I've now edited my tile I'd already got to make a variation on it that's got a slight patch of mud in it. If I do that again, I'm going to make the brush even smaller and we'll see. There we go. And there you go, that's my first variation. So what I'm going to do with each variation, I'm going to make it on a separate layer, and I'm going to double click where it says layer 1. I'm going to name this muddy grass. Then I'm going to make another second new layer. I'm going to click the little eye next to muddy layer grass, that layer, to turn it off. And then make sure my new layer is selected. And go back into the brush set. And this time, I'm not going to create kind of a muddy effect. I'm going to add some stones in this time. I'm going to see what different brushes I've got here. I've got this brush here. And I'm going to change my colour to a dark grey for my first stone. I'm going to set the opacity up to 100 so it's completely hard, the colouring. And I'm just going to play with the size of these brushes here. Create more of a natural kind of look. And I can also use my eraser tool to delete some of these. Now I've got my dark layer down, I'm just going to go over that with a slightly lighter grey. Go back into my pencil tool, just to create a little bit of depth to what I've done here. And I'm going to use my size 1 pencil tool to just go over and do the fine detail here. And I'll add a little bit. This just makes it look like some sunlight's kind of hitting these rocks. So there I've got some very simple rocks. I'm going to rename that rocks layer. And we'll do one final layer. I'll turn off the eye tool for that, make a new layer again. I'm going to go back into my brushes, and this time I want to select natural brushes. So natural brushes 2, I'm going to click append, and natural brushes. You probably only got the one. So if I scroll down to where my natural brushes are, they should be down the bottom. And where is... Let's have a look. Oh, maybe it wasn't. Ah, calligraphic. In fact, I've already got my calligraphic brushes there, I can see. So I'm going to select my calligraphic brush, and I'm going to make a fern this time. So I'm going to make a nice vivid green fern. I'm going to use my calligraphic brushes here, shrink down the size so that it's to scale, and a nice vertical one. And I accidentally took a step back there. And I'm just going to accent that on one side using my number 1 brush size, just to add a bit of shadow where there would be some. And they're not the best. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to add a little shadow beneath here as well. So I've selected a black colour tool, and I'm going to set my opacity really low, like 26. And I'm just going to, without letting go of my mouse, draw that as if there's a shadow there underneath it, just to add an extra bit of realism. There we go. And I could, if I wanted to, I could duplicate that layer now. And I could quickly move a couple of those around. And I could even scale some of them down. So to scale, I could press Ctrl and T on my keyboard. And there we go, scale them down. Once I'm happy with their placement, what I could do then is select all 3 layers. We see down here I've got layer 1, copy 2, layer 1, copy, and layer 1. Hold down Ctrl on my keyboard to select all 3 of those. Right click and choose the option to merge layers, and that will put all of those 3 ferns on one layer. And I'm going to name them ferns. Now with this layer with the eye tool still on, I'm going to save that as fern style and change the file type to a PNG, so it's nice and lossless. Turn the eye tool off for ferns, turn it on for rocks. Go File, Save As, Rocks, PNG again, click Save, and turn the eye tool off for rocks and turn it on for muddy grass. I go File, Save As, PNG, and muddy grass. And there we go. I've made 3 tiles very quickly using the different brush settings. Good luck with your tile sets. I look forward to seeing your work soon.